All right. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome to the Global Green Book. I I wanted to say thank you to everyone who took the time out to come and check out my channel today. I'm going to do a little bit of house cleaning. First, I wanted to say I want to share what our basic topic is going to be today. It's going to be about what are the benefits of educating our own community and practicing a natural approach daily to our wellness, and how does sisterhood affect these areas of our life. And I just want to kind of share with you my personal opinion and a little bit of story how sisterhood affected me in those different areas of my life. Uh, when I was a young mother and I had my children, I was able to, given the opportunity to homeschool my children, practice a certain holistic way of life that was kind of out of reach for a lot of people because it wasn't, a holistic lifestyle is not cheap. And with me creating that bond and that sisterhood, they allowed me the opportunity of adding and enhancing my children's education, where I had someone who specialized with my daughter, and it was like classrooms of like two, three children. So when a child has that much input, and it wasn't for the help of my sister, I don't know if I would have been able to do it myself here in the West alone. So it made my daughter, by the time she got into middle school, she had already been invited to the White House. She was in the top 1% of her class. My youngest daughter, who was dyslexic, was able to thrive and do so much more progressively well without any medication because of the bond that I created with different women, and we helped each other. We helped educate each other's children, and it took the stress of the West off of my shoulders. So for me, I know if it wasn't for the fact that I had a sisterhood around, and because I didn't have my mom, and they were able to give me that information that I may have not been able to have access to if I did it all by myself. And with the sisterhood, that's the way that we can help heal our nation, heal our children, heal our community. And the women that I brought on and the gentlemen that I'm bringing on, they are part of that sisterhood and brotherhood community that I'm with, that helped me in so many areas of my life where I would just like, if I did it by myself, it would get neglected. So I'm going to bring on Shamora Sheikh, her husband Hakeem, and my sister Tamara. So I'm gonna bring you all in. So, all right. How did I did it? I got us all on here. I'm trying, guys. I'm
You're
trying.
doing good. You're doing good. Cause
Absolutely wonderful.
Yes. Yes.
stream your
So,
mind to all of us. So you
yeah.
can
So
learn it, then you can teach it to us.
yes, ma'am. So what I want you all to do is kind of share how these areas of your life impacted you as well. And after after a while I'm gonna add the link on, so if anyone wants to join us in the conversation, I can go ahead and add them in. Okay. Tamara, won't you start, sis? And
You can,
start by introducing yourself. Start by
okay.
introducing
All
yourself.
right. Peace and great blessings, everyone. Assalamu alaikum. I am Tamara Dickerson of Astral Hill Nights Wellness Center in the DC metro area. But I have an online business and I see clients all over. So if you're not in DMV, that's okay. And I'm a holistic health consultant, massage therapist, Reiki master, yoga teacher, and wellness coach, and a teacher as well, and a mother and a sister, and all of that. So, and your question, the first question was about.
Well, let me introduce Shamor. Shamor, and you all introduce yourself. Shamor and Hakeem, introduce yourself real quick so everyone know who you all are.
You go first. All right. My name is Hakeem Ziad Bey. I want to say really thank you, Sister Kiddos, for inviting us. That was an
Sure.
honor. It was an honor to see the message and to see the topic, and how you're approaching has been beautiful. Um, so my name is Hakeem Ziad Bey. I am a holistic health practitioner. It's good to see a fellow practitioner out there. I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
It's it was a life changing experience that led me down this, and I've been enjoying the walk. I've definitely been enjoying the walk, and being able to walk with my partner Shamora, my wife, has been an incredible journey. So I'll be happy to share with you guys as we go on.
My name is Shamona Quick. I am the curator of Rites Institute, which is focused on women's wellness, healing through the arts, through the feminine arts. So everything from being a belly dance instructor, a henna artist, and belly binding, so on and so far, so on. Just really connecting with ancient traditions that we have lost touch with for our health. So we're also homeschoolers. We've been homeschooled. I don't even know how many years now.
Yeah.
Our oldest is 14, and we've been homeschooling. So it must be 12 years. It must be 10. It must be about 10 years.
Yes,
We've been homeschooling for about 10 years. We have 3 children, three star seeds that are wonderful. And so I'm looking forward to being part of this discussion.
Alhamdulillah. Okay. So tomorrow, I'm gonna read. I'm gonna tell you what the topic of the conversation is, and I kind of broke it down in 3 also smaller segments. But I'm gonna give you. I want you to kind of share how this impacted your life. I asked everyone, what are the benefits of educating our own community and practicing a natural approach daily to our wellness? How does sisterhood affect these areas of our life?
Okay, so the first question, the benefits of educating our own community. The main reason is because there's
Well,
so.
wait a minute. I want you to share how it impacted your life first before we go deep into it. 'Cause
What impacted my life first?
sisterhood impacted those areas of your life.
Sisterhood. Be I think because that's a good question. The sisterhood is the thing that starting to tear up. The sisters.
It's okay. It's
The
okay. It's real. It's
the,
real.
It goes straight to the heart.
Yeah.
the sisterhood is what has helped has been my support system all these years, especially through challenging times in my life. And I grew up in a close knit extended family, and my grandmother and her siblings and cousins. And then as the years went by, a lot of those people made their transition. Well, all of them, in fact, that I grew up with made their transition. And so, um, not having a strong family support system, I had sisterhood to lean on. I had sister friends that, we adopted each other over the years, like Kittis and I, and some other sisters that, I was blessed to be able to walk with, and who shared, different experiences with me, who shared, I guess we all mentor each other in a way.
Mm.
And some of these sisters are mother figures, and some are my age, some younger, because you can learn from people from all ages. And um, we really are as strong as our sisterhood, because the sisterhood, I think the bond that women share helps support the family. As women, we're the pivotal person in the family. We're the backbone of the family, and I think we're also the backbone of our communities. And even what you see outside now with this revolution that's going on, you see a lot of women in the forefront. You see a lot of women speaking up and demanding change and demanding justice. And I think that as women, we need to take a stronger role in that, and in our families. We need to fight harder to keep our families strong. We need to fight harder to get the justice that we need. We need to fight harder to support one another, and just keep our families intact and our
Mm.
communities intact. And so, yeah, the sisterhood has definitely been the strength that I've needed all these years.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Shamor and Hakeem, can you all share how it impacted your life?
Mm. You're gonna go first this time.
Because
Okay.
it definitely impacts our brothers' lives as well.
Absolutely.
Um, so sisterhood for me, talking about sisterhood, I would have to go back to my mother. I grew up, my mother, um, we traveled a lot. We were a military family. So there's like an automatic sisterhood that comes with that. But also, wherever we lived, my mother always made these amazing bonds with the women in our community. And our house was always the epicenter of their get togethers. So I grew up watching my mother really nurture sisterhood. And really, I've modeled Rites of Passage Institute after what I grew up seeing from my mom and my aunts. Um, and I also have three sisters myself, and we're close. Even though we in our adulthood live in different states, but we still really like checking on each other. So I have to start like with my family, because seeing that growing up, I feel like sisterhood is something that you do have to kind of like now with my daughter, I'm teaching her how to connect with her sister friends, and
Hmm.
teaching her how to nurture sisterhood and how to nurture how her and her friends can nurture each other. And I think we take it for granted, but I think it really is something that needs to be that is taught in a way. So as far as in my adult life, I always say sisterhood is power. Like it will get you through when there's nothing else.
Right.
3 in the morning and you stuck on the side of the road. I mean, it's
I've had those nights.
yeah, it's miracles. It makes miracles happen. It's currency.
Hmm.
And wherever we have moved a lot, we've lived in many different places, and wherever we go, sisterhood has always been something like I've always created my pride. And that's been very important to my children's education, because it is usually from that tribe that I pull from. Like, for example, I have a sister friend who's an amazing skater. She's a skate teacher. She taught
Hmm.
she literally met with my children every week at the skating rink and taught them how to skate, and not just any skating, but she taught them like tricks and everything. You know, it's so much of that. And I mean, and with her, I was able to figure out a barter system, and that's the
Okay.
nice thing about you don't have to come out of pocket. So it's like you're just creative with your resources. And when you have a sisterhood, everybody
Hmm.
eats.
I
Everybody
did the
eats.
same thing. I did the same. We used to do a bartering system with each other as well. I mean, everything is not money. Everything is not.
Absolutely, because usually they have something that they, want from you, and you have something that you need from them, or whichever. So, definitely, I have, as far as my children's education, I've definitely done everything from co-oping, homeschooling. We might swap out, like she may teach piano lessons to my children, and I'll teach her children abacus math, and that's how I've really been able to give my children this really amazing one-on-one education. I let people know from the beginning, when you see me, you're not just seeing me, you're seeing all the women who support me, all the people who support me, all my ancestors. I am not, this is what it's able to be is because of that. And there's I have a sister that comes, she folds my laundry. I have a sister that comes, and cleans my house.
So they really help
So I'm
you.
just saying, like, I don't keep this all together by myself. We don't, it's more than just the two of us. It's definitely the sisterhood is what makes me look good. Okay, I ain't looking good without the sisterhood.
Right. It's been many a nights when I just was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, and tomorrow was one of those that I would like just have to call and like, I don't know if I can do this, by myself. With small kids running around, and you're working, and you're trying to protect them from everything that's outside, the TV and all the mess that's on there, and just it's a lot. And so if it wasn't for women supporting, so helping me support myself, I don't know if I really did it.
It nurtures us and it protects our children and our families. Like my children never had to be in daycare. Never.
That's a blessing.
Hakeem, you want to say something on that?
Yeah. I guess the first question was how
has sisterhood affected you?
No, the impact of
I'll go back to that for you. What are the benefits of educating our own community and practicing a natural approach daily to our wellness? How does sister affect these areas of our life?
Well, one, I feel like how sisterhood affected my life. When you stand up, for your community, you are attacked, and you feel it straight away. And it's not always with sticks and bullets. It's like subtle. It's subtle things that you can't actually, say ouch about, but you feel. One of the biggest impacts was how it affected my family when I was attacked in those ways. And the fact that there was a sisterhood around my wife, it was something I realized I did have to build stronger. I had to focus energy on that. And it was something that was a saving grace because we had those protections in place by meaning resources of people, time, and energy. And that was totally appreciated in in the toughest times of my life. Why I feel health and wellness, and from our perspective, is something that's really strong that we have to focus on. And it's just been from being through the public school system. They were lying, and it was like I was able to see it in the fourth grade, and that was my first entrance into public school system. And it kind of jolted me because I wasn't prepared for it, and actually knowing that they were lies, it tainted every other interaction in that system. And now, knowing what I know now, I actually look back on those experiences and understand that it's absolutely imperative that we teach ourselves. And the part that I didn't know at the time was what we do now and what we practice is that there are answers, and our ancestors left plenty of clues for us to backtrack, and actually it's in us. So once we hear it, it sounds so familiar and part of us that it is immediately absorbed and something that we could actually implement in our lives on a continual basis.
Now, I just wanted to share this, like, family. I get services from both Shamora and from Astral Healing Art. And Shamora is an amazing person in regards to getting me to really think about just keeping my body in tune and in working function as an older woman. Because as we get into those older years, that I didn't have because I lost that my mother at a young age. So this is one of the things I wanted them to share their services, because a lot of us women don't know a lot about a lot of these different services. Tamara is like a wealth of knowledge in regards to foods and healing foods, and so they both. I mean, I've been so blessed to be surrounded by these type of women, and what I'm seeing is our community is being so chopped up that it's almost hard for us women to really get along. And I'm trying to figure out, what did we do to be able, what is it that really got connected us, like what is it that you think will create that bond to keep, maybe that we could show other women? Because I'm also seeing, I know I'm going off what I originally told you all, but it just kind of made me,
Spirit.
hearing your story and spirit. I have to go by what spirit tells me to share and ask. And if we get to those other questions, we get to those questions, we don't. But
Part two.
right, it is what it is. um I
We can
see so
talk
many.
about it though. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, I see so many. I always say I'm not going to cry, but I always end up crying. Um, I'm even within my own family right now. My daughters are like this right now. It happened today,
Mm.
and
Breathe. Go ahead and breathe.
I
Go ahead.
I did this the last time. I'm such a crybaby. But anyway, so I was telling them, I was like, this is your sister, and you can't allow other people to come in and disrupt that balance between you two, because when it's all said and done, they may not be here. And sometimes it's like I don't know how to relay that information to people. And I'm like, what did we do to be able to communicate that sisterhood and that trust, and to show healing for our young girls? Because our young girls, for some reason, I think all the toxics that's coming at them, I'm seeing they don't have that kind of bond that seen with women our age and our older generation. They're more, of a pack dog kind of mentality.
Well, it exists across generations, and a lot of this divisiveness that's between women, a lot of it comes from distrust and hurt, and it's a lot of women, hurting, or they've been betrayed by women. They didn't have healthy relationships with maybe their own family members and the women in their own family, and so this oftentimes creates distrust and the jealousy and the envy and the all the nuances of all the self-hatred and stuff that a lot of us are confronted with, and
Mm-hmm.
compete, putting women against each other to compete. And so I think a lot of that creates distrust and disharmony and bitterness between women. And often sometimes I hear women saying, well, I don't have many female friends. I can't trust women. I think that's tragic to say
It is.
you can't trust women, because you yourself are a woman. And what has happened in their lives that make them feel this way? Have they been betrayed by a lot of women? Have they been let down or disappointed by a lot? And then this creates that feeling of anger and distrust. And then also the society we live in is very toxic, and it puts women at odds with each other. and divisive. And I saw that there's several shows that come on TV about women, and it's all women at each other's throats, backbiting, stabbing each other in the back, lying on each other, calling each other, verbally abusing each other, physically abusing each other, and it's on
Yeah.
television. And I'm like, this is just bullying.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think
I want to read. I want to.
They
I
call
just
it,
want to. I just want to shout out real quick a couple of our family members real quick. I just want to say hi to them. Um, I want to say hi to Donnie Goes In, the blind guy, his wife, and their life. Hey family, Roots Reggae Girl one. Hey, let's
peace,
see.
peace and blessings.
Yes, I see. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Afro Millennial Mama Amina S. Assalamu alaikum, sis. And greetings, Rock Hall. So I just wanted to read Rock Hall's what he said real quick. We need more of that type of tribal participation. It reminds me of our extended family. We created out of like-minded people. Hopefully, the diasporas that's returning will practice and remain connected.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, thank you. So, go and then let me see. And so Roots Reggae says, but women was that way before the shows. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. That's true.
and
And
it's
the blind
nowadays.
guy, yep, and the blind guy and his wife said the missing bond is due to the media. Divorce Court, T.I. and Tiny, Maury Povich, Real Housewife. It normalizes bitterness, resentment, and distrust. Wow.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. It's almost like it's a field of toxic behavior that is being glorified. And I have me personally, I think the separation of women is by design. I think I look at it as it's when it's convenient for the big brother type of environment. When family was the best thing for us and women to stay home, they promoted family. When it was promoted that we need to get these women out in the workforce, then it was like I bring home the bacon, and then to me it seemed like the demise of our how we looked out for each other. It is against it would be against the system because if we supported each other, because we get so much more done when we work together.
Yeah,
And I'm talking about women. We get so much more done because I remember times when I'll come in and it would be three of us and we bring all our kids together and we done education, cleaning, done job proposals, created businesses. We were doing this as a sister. We were entrepreneurs, and we got so much more done helping each other. Where we had each other's strengths, we would give that to the other person. But when you're here in this environment, when we're doing all this by ourselves, we can't keep your wellness up. It's just hard. You really can't uh do 20 things at one time by yourself. You do need that support system. And for me, I noticed every strong time we had a strong community when our communities were doing well, they were managing, they were prospering financially. We were looking at our best. We were we were we were together. I remember growing up having a bunch of women in my mom's kitchen, them sitting and talking and just taken care of. But once you start separate, and then the men can go out and do what men do, and not be concerned that his wife is being overwhelmed, overstressed, overworked, because all that by yourself is a lot.
mhm.
I don't know. What do you all think?
I think
I know.
that Tamara and Piers, I think you guys hit it right on the head. I call it the mother wound. I think when you hear women say things like, I don't trust other women, I don't have female friends, that self hatred stems from what we call the mother wound. And that could be that you feel your mother failed you in some type of way. And it may not have been her fault, and it may have been, but you haven't been able to confront it and get closure and to forgive. And then, so I think in order for women to be able to have kind of sisterhood, they have to first start with committed to their own self healing. They have to be committed to their own self healing. And once you're able to heal that mother wound, then you just springboard up from there. But until
I never heard that mother wound.
Yes, your mother wound. Mm-hmm. Because it's like when your mother hurt you, that goes deep. If you feel abandoned or neglected by your mother, or she called you names and stuff, it's deep.
Oh yeah, yes, you're right. I remember when, and my mom. Don't get me wrong, my mom was the sweetest lady. She was, but I did something and she called me out a certain name, and I was like devastated, like how could she say this to me? And I'm like, even now when I think about it, it's just like it goes right through me, you know, because it. Why are we so verbal? It's learned behavior. We know why.
Yeah, we've been through a lot as a people.
It's learned behavior.
But I think both ways, just how your mother can hurt you, she can also be your biggest, you know, it's the power we carry as mothers. You know, it's like it can make or break you. So she can be your biggest supporter too.
All right. So this is the other, I had kind of broke it up in 3 questions. I'm sorry. Educating the Black children. Why does, and that matter, why does culture matter?
Why does culture matter? You said in educating our children.
Mm-hmm. You know, because that's a big push in this society in regards with our kids going into the school system. I know you homeschooled more, and you homeschool, but you're in the school system. You probably could really give us an idea of like what's the mindset of them dealing with our children, especially our little girls.
Well, I homeschooled my children for a while, and I also put them in school. They went to charter schools for the majority of their childhood. They also went to public schools too. But culture matters a lot, especially us in our community, because our culture is a little different from the status quo and the mainstream. So you have to constantly reinforce and teach your children at home, even regardless of what kind of school setting that they go to, you have to constantly educate them. And then we don't see our culture expressed in the dominant culture. So you do have to, as parents, as Black parents, we have a lot to teach our children at home. And although there have been some changes with, multicultural education, but it still only scratches the surface. We still have a lot that we have to educate our children, and we're still being educated ourselves, because a lot of our history has been kept from us. A lot of our history we've been lied about, and so we're discovering new things all the time. And the learning process is something you do. You never stop learning. So as you learn, you teach your children. But culture is important, because that is one of the glues that, in addition to the sisterhood, that's one of the things that keep us united as a people. You see a lot of foreign immigrants, when they come to this new country, they bring their culture with them. And what do? They find other people from their culture that speak their language, that share their culture, that share their customs, their folk ways, their mores, or whatever. And then they create a community. And that's how Chinatowns were formed. That's how all these other communities, you go around the U.S., you see these communities everywhere of people who are like-minded, because that's what they're trying to maintain, is their culture and their life together. So I think that's why we definitely need that.
Yeah, I see culture as the protective layer that doesn't just allow us to be just bombarded with everything that's coming from the outside entities.
I remember you once you compared culture, or you described it as the immune system of the community. Right. And I thought that was like genius. To think of culture, it's more than just like learning history. It's more than just, but it's your immune system. It's what keeps you safe. Because
Mm.
you know your
Oh yeah.
you know where you come from, and you know how we do things, how our ancestors taught us to do things. That protects you.
Hmm. Yeah, I remember. I don't know if because everyone had pretty much a different lifestyle upbringing, but I just remember as a small child, just always feeling kind of not, not in groove of things. Kind of stand because I lived in a pretty mixed community at the time when I was growing up. It was more on the other end of the spectrum from from this, and it was awkward. It was awkward because I didn't fit into their world,
Mm-hmm.
but I tried to fit in, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and I assimilated. I assimilate, and it just, it's almost like you don't ever feel who you are because you're not around something that's more familiar. So it's like it almost kind of stunts your growth. It was, I remember when I first started learning about who my people were was in high school, my senior year as an elective, Miss Hamron. I think it's Hamron, and she taught Black studies, and that's when I started going to those classes and to be around, and I felt a difference in my whole educational shift. And by that time I was a senior about to leave to go to college, so it really kind of affected me in a way where I was like, I became so immersed that all I wanted to do was learn everything about my culture because I didn't even realize I had one until then.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
And so a lot of us are doing that to our children without even realizing how it might be subconsciously, um, they're reacting to it, but how could we? Because we're brought up in this country. Um, Let me see. The blind guy, let me see what he say. The blind guy, his wife in their life, they say, true. We're constantly on a culture island teaching our children because they are relearning our culture and dispelling the orchestrated miseducation and lies. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Raw said, absolutely. The Black woman birthed leaders, movement, strength, and always been a true protector. 400 years of slavery is over. It's time to resume and practice our spiritually and put race over religion.
That's a
Wow.
good one.
That, yeah, I had to sit and think like for a second, like,
Yeah, I see what he's saying. Yeah,
yeah,
I feel like that's one of the areas that we're as a people are most divided over is religion.
religion, very religion, very, very divided over that. Um, wow, that was a good one. So the I have another. Why is it important to connect health and education for our? Why is it important to connect health and education for our community? So, like a lot of them in school, they keep it very separate. They don't really merge the two. You have like I think like maybe a semester of like sex education and maybe like a semester of but what is it, like hygiene or something? But it's like it's not a real focus on the effects of good health in our educational system, and how can we as parents even it's a lot that needs to be done in our community.
Yes.
It's a lot that's missing in our community because I know that was one of the main things when you're homeschooling, you can really put all that stuff in place and make sure your kids get it. But a lot of our kids are in these insufficient school systems. And like one of my goals is I would like us to be able to kind of incorporate that so that our community has it. Do you all have anything like that in place? Because I know you all are very progressive people. Like, do you all have programs or uh like resources where we can try to get disseminate information to those who are lacking in this area of their life?
Mhm.
I would say for us, it's the rites of passage programs that we offer for the youth. We have comprehensive rites, like a 6 month rites of passage program that prepares them for their final ceremony, and all of that is about teaching them an Afrocentric mode of health, how to do health assessments for themselves and others, and it's so much more than that. But that is one of the components in doing the rites
Can you
of
just
passage.
elaborate on more? Because I know a lot of people would like to know what it is. Because a few people on here have children.
Mhm.
What's very local. First of all, I mean, there's been people trying to who want us to do a virtual format of that, but I don't know about that at this moment.
Yeah, it is interesting because getting the word out is kind of getting boxed in, kind of with the different laws that are passing, with the different agendas of news media, with the different censorship that's showing up on places like Facebook and Google. But
Mhm.
I want to say we still have to breathe and we have to relax and we have to realize that we already have the answers within us. So you don't have to go on this big push. There's just for example, there's a theory called the 100 monkey theory. And basically, it says that when a cluster of apes that were being studied would figure out a new way to open a banana or a new way to alert the others of a predator coming, once about 100 of them knew, the rest of the community had that information on the other side of the island. So what I've been focusing on is being the example, just being the light, working on removing the blocks out of my life and letting that light shine through. Because as those aspects reach someone who's ready to hear it, they respond to it, and it's way more far reaching than you could expect. So it's like take a deep breath because we already have the answers, and they will come when the people are ready for it.
And
Mhm.
as far as the way the Rites of Passage program works, it's pretty much parents will come to us when they feel like their child is ready for a Rites of Passage, and then we connect all the parents, and then we push forward from there with that group of children. So it's very well, I guess it's kind of intimate and informal in a way, but that's how most of them start off. Is people just coming to me like, my child's about to, hit this, and we need to prepare them.
Have you thought about because that's a really good program what you're offering. Have you ever thought about collabing with other people and kind of like expanding and opening up other people who are part of the Rites of Passage brand so that they can continue that so that in different
That'd be
areas.
lovely.
Yeah, we
Like
have
you
worked
like
with
coming
that.
up here because I would definitely like you come up here like Sister Tamara. She has your background. You all collab and then you merge the rites of passage and you have someone here doing it. And like have you all considered that?
We have. We've just been building. We've been building as a family. We've been building as a community, and we're putting
Mhm.
the steps in place. We're just moving forward. We haven't gotten all of the answers yet, but we're working.
So So what I want to do is because one of my goals with this channel is people who I know have great services that can offer the community is having being that kind of that point of contact uh, so that if someone is interested in getting in contact with you guys, um, so that we have our people are vetted, know who they are. I've done your services. I know what you can offer. We want to make sure that we get reputable people out in the field to help our community. So like even with on this platform, there might be someone who could that will listen and be like, yeah, I'm interested in that. Um, so I don't know.
So
Would you all be open to that?
yes, we are, and we have virtual classes that are starting up, starting on October 29th, and they're going through. And you can get more information on that on our website, passageinstitute.com.
Yeah, we have three virtual offerings right now. One is a crystals one-on-one class. The other one is moon tracking. And then the other one is the virtual yoni steam party.
Okay, yeah, I've done your yoni class in the belly dancer. I enjoy that one tremendously. Sister Tamara,
Yes.
can you elaborate on your services?
My services.
Mm-hmm.
I do the holistic as a holistic health consultant or practitioner. I assist people with all of their health needs, and especially with people who want to transition from unhealthy eating habits and unhealthy lifestyle to adopting a lifestyle that is more beneficial for them and healthier for their overall health, and assisting people with, especially with changing to plant-based diets, but not exclusively the plant-based. And also do the spiritual healings, and incorporates Reiki and readings. I do massage therapy, Vinyasa yoga. I also teach, and
Wait, what kind of yoga?
Vinyasa, or some people call it flow yoga.
Okay.
Okay, so I teach that,
Wow.
and I also
Are you doing a virtual flow yoga class? What? Are you doing a virtual flow yoga class?
actually, I've done one so far, and people ask me to do more, so I'm in the process of working on that. I'm working.
I did one with her.
Yeah, we did. We did. We that's right. Yeah, it was with you. So we did one together, and there was a lot of feedback on that and requests. Even before that, people were like, "When are you gonna do a video?" So I found a videographer recently, so I'm that's in the works. But thank you, Shamora, for the encouragement. So yeah, so yeah, that, and I also make my own natural skin and hair care and herbal product. It's called Solstice Organics. At Instagram is at Solstice Organics 19. So I'm also have that, and I'm adding some more herbs to the line because the natural health is the best, in my opinion. It's not alternative health. That's the original health, and that's one of the best forms of healthcare for us because it's a lifestyle change. It's not just taking a pill and suppressing symptoms. And so that's what I do.
That's what's up.
Awesome, awesome. So I wanted to share what Rock Hall said really quick. We must teach about our history, uplift our sheroes and heroes, and African customs, foods, and thoughts that represent our culture, which is very important. Teach them. We share because we are tribal people. Yeah. Greetings, Aisha Kiva. Assalamu alaikum. Uh,
Assalamu
Like so,
welcome, welcome to the live stream. So yes, we were just going over some things about sisterhood and how it helped us with our kids, our youth, and our wellness journey. Do you want to share something really quick with us in regards to how sisterhood help you with your your motherhood and your sisterhood? And did we? Oh, she just hit her camera.
Asad,
Are
put
you
your
there,
clothes on,
Aisha
honey.
Kiba?
Put your clothes on, Asad. Okay, listen, I'm
Oh
on the
yeah, she got
phone.
a baby.
Okay.
Assad. Oh, Assad is
I'm
streaking. He's trying to streak for us.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I thought I would have him in the bed by the time I called in.
It's a family
Um,
affair.
but but what I have to share is basically how there's a war going on right now, whether people know it or not, and they have been coming after our black boys and black girls for a very long time. And so I think it's very imperative for us to um, have strong, families, and have a strong village of people who just help each other and be there for each other. I know growing up seeing a lot of black men who fell by the wayside because um, the educational system failed them. I mean, many other things failed
Right.
them, but certainly the educational system failed them. And so for me, it's imperative as a mom to be very active in a side school. And I notice how of a difference it makes when parents are involved. Even the teachers treat them differently. I remember my mom would come up to my high
Mm-hmm.
school and hold on one second. My apologies about that. My son was running past and he was looking like how he was when he was born. So I figured y'all don't need to see all that. So
Yeah, we don't want
it's
this
real
video
life,
taken down.
right?
I don't want to take it
And
down. I want to keep it
It's
up.
all about nature. It's
so,
just nature being natural.
This is the village.
oh gosh. Uh, and so, I was just saying, I just remember how, I was treated differently with my teachers, right? Like they paid more attention to me. They more were involved with me when they saw that my mom would come to my PTAs and stuff like that. And so
Mm-hmm.
it's just so important for, um, you know, parents and not just parents, but the village to be involved.
Right.
If that means like, if a parent can't make it to pick up their child, your friend going to help out and stuff like that. So, yeah,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think
Okay,
that's
this I was going to say, I wanted to elaborate back to the point you were making with health education and schools and homeschooling. But
Right.
you said that the first thing I thought about was how, because I am homeschooling my children, we are like gluten and dairy free. And it pretty much would have been very difficult for me to have them stick to a healthy food diet. I hate the word diet, but basically
Right. Live it. Healthy food. Live
healthy.
it.
Yeah, so not so. I mean, not so much on the education point, but I feel like the fact that it would have been. I would have struggled very much with trying to keep them with a healthy diet. Plus, there's also the peer involvement of like feeling. Because I remember growing up, and I would bring my lunches to school, and my lunches were often things like lentils and curry, and I was shamed a lot because of the way my food smelled and how it looked. So I feel like my
Mm-hmm.
children didn't have to deal with that because they were homeschooled. They developed a very healthy sense of before they dealt with the outside influence
Right.
of their peers, which I mean now they don't even care. Like they know why they eat the way they eat. Bye.
Right.
And, so it's like
Right.
they developed that strong identity, and that was able to be instilled in them because they were homeschooled. And also another thing is that we keep a very strong. I have children with special needs, so I have to keep a very strong supplemental regimen for my children. They have to have certain supplements or herbs or at certain points in the day, and I would not have been able to do that for my children if they were going to school.
And did you
Um,
learn all this from your mother?
I would say, I mean, we both are trained under Dr. Africa. So I have to
Okay.
give kudos to Dr. Africa, Layla Africa, yes. Also, we were blessed to have other healers in our midst. Food was one we worked.
Dr. Cool
Dr.
Gray.
Cool Great, yes. We work closely with her for our children. Um,
Okay.
we do come from mothers that very health conscious as well,
Mhm.
but we definitely have had the help of healers in the community with our children.
Yeah, you had some great assistance. Great
Yes.
assistance.
And
I
then
pretty much had to learn everything myself.
Mhm. My mother started me on that path. We were walking by a pine tree, and she was telling me that you can boil the pine needles to get aspirin. And I was like, well, why did we
Really? I didn't know that.
get aspirin from the store if we could boil that and take the white film on top, and that's
Mhm.
the
That's
same
aspirin.
substance.
Mhm.
I
So
just learned something new.
yeah, and I felt the same way when she said it. And I was like, well, why? That started the question of why would we go to the store if we could get the same thing from a tree? Um,
Right. And that's where we're lacking with our are being educated with our mothers and those things, those practical day-to-day things, because that's something so simple. How, I mean,
Mhm.
you see pine trees pretty much all year round in this area, and we're buying medicine. I could have been boiling pine all this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And another
healing in every kind of plant. It's some kind of healing in every kind of plant.
This is true.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
This is true.
Yeah.
Like
Mm-hmm.
even ones that shock you. Like I was shocked to find that poison ivy actually is good for arthritis.
No, I didn't
Oh,
know.
really?
The plant itself, yeah, like there's a certain way you have to
Wow.
process it, but it actually has a benefit as
Oh,
well.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, no, right? Like it's
Mm.
poison ivy. You gotta stay away from that. But
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah, I've had poison ivy. I don't want no parts of it.
right. But I was also gonna say another point to the health thing, being able to maintain your children's health and homeschooling is also like, and not not to bring in a huge debate or anything, but there's also the debate of like vaccinations. And I feel like when you homeschool, there's a lot more flexibility in that. How you want to, what type of schedule you want to use, or how you want to approach that. Whereas when you're in the school system, there's a lot of pressure, and of course, there's ways around that. But it's like
Mm-hmm.
all these affect our health. All these affect our health, and um, yeah. So I feel like health and education do go hand in hand, and that's some of the ways that I know that are really that jump out to me.
Right. Because I know right now there's like a big movement with CMOS. I,
Yes,
I, I have I have so many people, like, I have people calling me about CMOS like all the time, talking to me about
yes.
CMOS. And I'm just like, okay. And, you want to support everyone, but I'm like trying to figure out, like, what has that always been a big thing?
No, it has
CMOS?
popped
Well,
off. Like,
In the last 3 years or so.
yeah.
Yeah.
I started selling it this year due to popular demand, and I mean it's always been around because the first time
Right.
I tried sea moss gel, I got it from somebody West Indian. They had made a drink out of it, and I was like, that was maybe like 12 years ago, and I didn't know the benefits of it. And then when I learned all the health benefits, I started using it for myself. But I think it's gained popularity this year because of the COVID, and people have and it is true, it does enhance your immune system. So
it
I think
does.
that's why it's so popular now, because people are trying to improve their immune system.
Mm-hmm.
But it has so many benefits, and it's a seed, it's a plant from the seed, but it has a lot of benefits.
Mm.
But I think that's what I think is gained popularity because of the COVID.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. That
that
makes
and
sense.
elderberry.
Huh?
Oh, go ahead.
Elderberry.
Yeah, well, a nurse actually, a friend of mine is an emergency room nurse, and she was treating people at the ICU with COVID. And she told me, and at one point in time, they had nothing to really treat the condition. They just try to help the people stay comfortable, and they can give them things, and like oxygen, but they couldn't a lot they could do for it because of the virus. And she said they were, as in one of the hospitals, they were giving people stuff like that, zinc and elderberry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm.
but yeah, elderberry was like you couldn't find it
You
for.
couldn't find it.
No?
You gotta find the tree.
Look, we planted 3 bushes in the back of elderberry.
Mhm.
That's good. It may come in handy.
And that's
If
another
you
thing.
can't get it's hard to come and buy in the store. It's really
And
hard.
the seeds are disappearing too. And I'm noticing that the
Oh,
seeds are now that you're getting, and it's like, okay, that's going to be a hot commodity because they are um they're harvesting fruitless fruit.
Yes.
So I'm like, what kind of seeds are these that they're giving us?
Mhm.
Right.
So
That's a whole nother. That seeds are major.
yeah, so that's going to be a whole nother thing. And like, I know I need to be educated. I'm like, I don't even know how to even deal with starting a seed, sprouting it, like the whole process. It's like so many practical things that we are missing in this community. Like, I know you and Tamar, all three of you all started gardening, but I know you two have some successful gardens. but a lot of us don't even know simple gardening, much less farming, and that's something that we were part of our educational system that we are missing out on. And I know I remember my mother would always try to get me to come out there with her, but I was so caught up in the dunya and running the streets, and I was like, I'm not getting no dirt. you
I
know,
had to. I didn't have a choice.
and now I
I
regret
didn't get
it.
away.
Now, actually, you have a little. Are you educating aside in farming?
And we just had a
She was asking Aisha.
oh, I'm sorry about that.
Oh no, go ahead. Because you all,
Yeah,
anyone has.
I think her
just
camera's
I
frozen.
think her internet is acting up.
yeah. We did a greenhouse building workshop on Saturday,
Oh, that's
and
fun.
Wow.
that's the start of it. But I want
I need to move down there with you guys. Come on tomorrow. Let's pack our bag and go down to Durham.
Yay!
North Carolina, definitely. Definitely.
so and to your what you were saying about not knowing, you can start out with sprouting greens. There were
Now I do sprouts.
Sprouting
Mhm.
greens is the easiest way to start, and it gives you confidence on starting with the seedlings, and they don't have to go too far. In a week or so, you can have a harvest.
Mhm. And you all have regular gardening classes with your kids, or
Um,
they just part of the whole
yeah,
process.
they're just part of the process. Yeah. So my daughter has kind of gotten out of salads, and like I've been reintroducing her through the garden vegetables, like the wild lettuce and the basil and the sage that's growing out there. We'll just
Mhm.
take a piece and chew it in the morning, and and just reacquaint them with the this is the start of the process, and this is what it grows into, and this is what's
Mhm.
good for your body.
Okay. So the last thing I kind of because we kind of went over why it is important to connect with health and education of a community. So what role okay. We kind of already discussed that. It's kind of redundant, but I wrote, what role does a strong sisterhood play in these areas? I think we kind of covered that in a sense, but if you want to go ahead and do like a synopsis really quick um, in that area, because we are discussing sisterhood.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's
Well, I mean, for me personally, I guess I would say like sisterhood has really, I feel like it's really helped me, kept my family healthy, but it also has really protected my marriage too. And I don't think we
oh,
talked about that aspect of it, but like when my husband is working so much and, done so much, to have their help, to balance that out so I'm not overwhelmed here on the home front. And it takes heat off of him too. It's like that really helps us to still, so I'm not, when he gets home, I'm not exhausted. And I can still be there for him too.
I like that.
mhm.
Um,
Okay. Okay. That this is so off topic, and we're not going there. So, is that something like, in regard, would that be something like where you would consider like something like polygamy and also as well in regards to sisterhood in the family?
well,
I
I
know it's
think
kind of off
polygamy is
topic,
a
but it just
sisterhood.
kind
I
of
mean, was
in
it
my head.
referring to polygamy?
mhm.
But I think yes, I think that polygamy it should be a sisterhood. I think people have different ideals of polygamy. Some people feel like polygamy is the other woman,
Oh no,
and some
no,
people feel like polygamy is extending your family. So it just depends on the purpose and perspective, I suppose.
Mhm.
no. So that would be like a whole thing with educating the kids and just creating that whole extra support system.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think, like Ashikiba said, this is a war, and it's hard to like digest that and say, okay, well, they're not just shooting everybody down the street, but they actually are just
Right.
shooting everybody down in the street, and people will die in a multitude of all the ways you could die. But
Mhm.
this is a time where we need to lock arms.
Hmm.
Polygamy or no, community wise, We have to really
Community,
build the
right.
community. That word is thrown around, but we have to own what we are, what we're protecting, and that we need to do that with the people that are around us. Our
Mm-hmm.
extensions go straight out to wherever you guys are in DC, in Maryland, and all over the globe. We have we're connected to people that help and are our communities.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. All right, so anyone, it's 9 o'clock. I want to kind of end the live. So do you all have any last words you want to share with anyone, your businesses, how they can get in contact with you? I can put it up on the screen. Aisha Kiba, you want to go first?
Yes, I don't have any, business contact or any businesses right now. But I just want to say that it is so important for us to heal and start the journey of healing and trying to trust in one another. I think that trust has been broken, and we just feel we're in a state of feeling like somebody's trying to use or abuse or hurt us. Um, and we have to completely decompress all of that and start to trust each other. Also, we really have to be knowledgeable of and up on the educational system, the law, and the medical system, because those are the three main things that we are being attacked on. um, and we just have to, I know, and a lot of people are against voting, but it's so important for us to be involved in our community and involved in the board of education, involved in the state attorney. And we're so right now we're so caught up on the president, but we need to be more involved on a local level because those things really affect us too. So I'm not shouting out my business because I don't have one right now um, pertaining to this discussion. I'll say that, but I just wanted to say that.
Well, what business do you have? You have something that people can get in contact with you about, a business that you want to share? Because it doesn't have to be pertaining to wellness if you have a business you want to share.
You know what? Not at this moment. What I do have is a
Okay.
very, very, very small family, business. Is nothing at this moment that I want to share. However, in the near future, God willing, hopefully it'll expand and I'll
Mm-hmm.
be able to share that information and share my service if people want it. But at this moment, we're keeping it extremely small and simple, stress free,
Mm-hmm.
and because I can't handle too much at this moment. So,
Right.
um, but yeah, in the near future, God willing, it will expand and I can share it.
Okay. Great. 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 Uh, Tamara, you want to have any last words you want to share with us?
Um, yes, I think it's really important that we continue to educate ourselves and educate one another and be the change that you want to see in your community. Um, let's focus on the positives that we see. We can just make a list all day of all the negative things in our community, but more on the positive things and how to make them grow and how to make them better. And I can be reached at astralhealingarts.com. That's the webpage. And if you want to send me an email, it's astralhealingarts at yahoo.com and or Instagram at astralhealingarts.
All
And
right.
Follow her.
Thank you. Thank you.
love to everyone.
And Shamora, you have anything and Hakeem?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wait a
Um,
minute. Let me say one more thing. The blind guy and his wife in their life said, please share another tip like the one about boiling pine needles as aspirin. We love another gem, please.
Absolutely. One of my favorites. And when Dr. Africa said it, I was just flabbergasted. So mustard seed in soaking your feet with mustard, even Gouldens. But if you have the seeds and you can crush them, that works as well. Lowers blood pressure like
Mm.
right away.
Right.
So if you're
Mm.
having a crisis and you don't have anything around, everybody's got crusty mustard in the back of the refrigerator. So
Mhm.
we have what we need at all times.
You said
Wow.
on the feet.
Yep. Soak your foot in water, warm
Mhm.
water with a little bit of Goldens in there, or
Okay.
mustard seeds
Mustard seed.
crushed up.
Oh, mustard seed crusher. Okay.
So it could
For
be yellow mustard or it could be mustard powder or mustard seeds
Hmm.
high blood pressure. Okay, that's
to
new.
lower the
So
blood.
maybe we should do another show another time if you all have time, and we can do it on all holistic
Mhm.
health and wellness and tips, because I have three amazing, knowledgeable people here in my back pocket,
Absolutely.
and I know people are really trying to change the way, because this food is killing us, because I like Donnie goes in, he says, I need that.
Mhm.
Mm.
So and Sister Amina, she said, good one, thanks. So people want that kind of information. So maybe we can sit and schedule a time where you all will be available, and we can have a round table and a question and ask. I'll tell, people can say, this, what do you think about this? And we can just start hitting off remedies,
Mm.
stuff that we just would
That
not
would be
think about.
wonderful. Mhm.
Yeah.
Tamara, I just want to say that I'm following you. I just followed you on Instagram, and your Instagram is beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah.
thank you. Well, thanks.
Oh yeah, share your Instagram pages so people can follow you, because I follow your Instagram, and that way they can get access to.
Can
Um,
you write on the comments page?
I put it in the private chat, and I'll put
Okay.
it on the on the page, so that people will be able to see it when they watch the replay. Roots Reggae Girl 1, she said that would be nice. So yeah, so I think people would like that. So you put, okay, so let me check here. So Shamor Sheikh, let's see. We're gonna end. Okay. So anyone wants to get in contact with you guys, they can
Mr. Kiddes, I really appreciate this forum. Um,
yes,
I love
thank
the
you.
show. I want to see the replay, and I want to see your other shows as well. I'm looking forward to them.
My other show, I get nervous doing these things, guys. I
Hey, that'll
do.
pass.
I
These things
do.
happen.
I always get like nervous. So that's rites of passage, and then we have adding this stuff in so everyone can see, and that's Shamora wellness business, and let's see, guys, I'm getting better with this whole StreamYard.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm getting better. It's like I'm impressed with people who can do this.
You doing it?
Yeah, you do it so seamlessly. Like
You're
they're
doing it too. So
Oh, me? Oh, okay,
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
okay. All right. So I'm glad. So that is we got Shamora Shake, her IG. I'm glad I'm doing it. It's the next time I'll make sure I'll have all this information so that I can put it in there.
Aishi, are you on Instagram?
I'm not. I'm like an old lady. I don't. I don't really have anything. Wait a minute. No, you know what? I take that back.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
joined a long time ago, but I'm not active, so I don't even remember my what do you call it? My name on there.
Oh God, it's
All right. So I think I got. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, y'all are faster than me. I just seeing all the stuff you all put in there. So while I'm doing this, can you all give some more little tips? Because it seemed like that's
what's one a good one? I know cherry juice is good for gout. That's the first. I don't know why that came to mind first.
What did you said? Cherry juice.
Cherry juice, you said?
Cherry juice.
For gout,
Mhm.
and let's see. The sea moss definitely rids the body of excessive mucus. Like that would help with this time of year with the cold season.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Provided that you're not eating a lot of mucusy foods, but it helps rid the body of mucus, and it's also good for strengthening the bones. One of my neighbors gets it from me, and she told me it is helping her hair grow. She
Oh,
said
really?
she said she's seen a significant growth in her hair since she's been taking sea moss gel.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so
So I think okay. I have everyone. No, I don't. You all have a lot on here. I'm slow.
I'm not
big
correct.
time.
Mhm.
Leave it alone.
What's another good home herbal?
Another good one. This is the $1 million one. Okay, this is the one that nobody could afford to do.
The $1 million
The
one.
You
million
can't
dollar one.
afford this one. All right, but I'll give you two.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes.
Deep breathing.
Yes.
Mm.
You get
Yeah,
rid of
that's a
more
good one.
waste by breathing than you
Yeah.
do any other way.
Yeah. You can change your energy just by breathing deep. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep.
It's not to be taken lightly. It's one of the biggest ones, and it's something you do every day.
So
And
yeah.
water is good for inflammation.
You said
Water, water is good for inflammation.
Good clean water,
Mhm.
not tap water.
yes.
So
It reduces
I drink
inflammation.
water with a little bit of lemon or lime in it,
There you go.
Mhm.
also to help
I'm gonna put in
flush out.
turmeric and ginger, lemon,
Mm.
sea moss, and
Honestly.
bladderwrack and burdock.
That sounds good. That
Yeah.
sounds good blood
Cherry tart
thinner.
juice,
Mm-hmm.
and moringa leaf tea. Ruth's Reggae Girl one, she shared all that with us.
There you go.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
sister. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So they were saying perhaps solutions are much appreciated. A series perhaps on holistic wellness.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
Another.
we'll do that. We'll sit down and come up with a series, and so that we can hit different areas. Maybe something for the gentlemen, an area for womb health, an
Mhm.
area for mental health, physical
Yeah.
health. We sit down and we'll just start. We'll share it with everyone so
Yeah.
that people know.
Raising healthy children, some tips for that because you got some
Yes.
parents who don't vaccinate and
Vaccination. What are your thoughts on vaccinations, really quick?
And
um really quick, I'm not an advocate for vaccinations at all. I think that they do more harm to our immune systems than is necessary, I think. And I'm just not an advocate for it.
Mhm.
Hmm. Do you think they're going to try to push us to get vaccinated?
Yeah, I believe
I
so.
think they are talking about that. I don't know about the pushing part, but they definitely trying to persuade people to get it. And by the fear in the media, a lot of people are looking forward to it.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
So we will always have religious freedoms, and that is not going to go away unless you actually give it up. They're
Hmm.
going to talk about it every 10 years because there's a new generation coming up that may not know their
Know
rights.
that, right?
But if
Because
you
that's how
know your rights,
I didn't vaccinate my kids because I was like, it's against my faith. I was like, you're not gonna make me do that.
yeah,
and there's no test for religiousness.
Hmm.
There's no test. Who's more religious or less religious, it doesn't matter.
Hmm.
Um, yeah. So there are answers. We have to breathe and know that we're already part of the answer.
Right.
You just have to
Right.
know the right questions to ask.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yep.
you're hitting on some tonight.
Mm-hmm. Sarsaparilla. Let me see. What does it say? Yeah, sarsaparilla root and diabetes as well. So
Mhm.
there is a law that they can make us take it or make things very bad for the ones that don't. I don't know
I
what
don't
part.
know. Is that a
I don't know.
universal
I
law
I
or?
don't
Yeah,
know
it's
because I never had that issue.
I know the
Um,
state of California has made some changes to the vaccine exemption because somebody I know lives out there, and
Mhm.
last year she moved, and when her children weren't vaccinated, and when her eldest had to start kindergarten or pre-K, they told her that they wouldn't accept the exemption letter.
oh,
Mm.
really?
Yes, that's
Oh
what she
wow.
told me.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm
See, I
thinking,
don't know.
that doesn't apply. It's not applicable, it doesn't apply here, but
You have
Yeah,
um,
to.
my kids were
We,
always exempt for
yeah,
vaccines.
mine too. But
we have yes, California did change those laws. You have to actually read the statutes and codes because the answers are always there. They
Hmm.
bury it. Might be the last line of a 2,000 piece section,
Yeah,
but
and
you can
that was the
find
thing.
the answer.
I remember when we were doing it, we had to specifically put it in a certain way. So we had to read the statute so that we knew how to word it so that they
Mhm.
couldn't dispute it because they were trying to tell me, oh, at one point I had to put my daughter in the school, and I was like, no, I can put her in the school. And eventually they had to let her in because the way I had formed the letter and the people that I had involved in the creation of the letter, they had
mhm,
to let me admit her into the school, but that was
Yeah.
short lived. I ended up homeschooling her, but
okay,
Mhm.
And that's why it takes a village too, because sometimes you may not know something, but somebody else in your tribe, your village may know things. Because I think America, the biggest weapon they have or they use on the people is fear. That's the biggest
Yes,
weapon. You don't even
I
have to
would
go
say
around
that.
killing
I would
anybody
say
anymore, right? You can
that.
just, put fear on the people. So I think I'm definitely anti-vaccinations, but I have the pro vaccination community makes their argument so fearful, that you begin to kind of question, like,
Yeah.
should I or shouldn't I? And that's why it's important to have forums like this and talk to your friends who have the same belief system with certain things so they can encourage you. And then that's where the whole herbal thing comes into play, because you can't just not believe in vaccinations and not give your kids healthy things to build their immune system so they won't be susceptible to certain illnesses and diseases and stuff like that. If that
Right.
makes
Right.
sense.
Absolutely.
and a lot of people don't realize because I had to I can't remember, but it was a few family members that I had to really share with them, like, have you not noticed a number of autistic children that has
Hmm.
up in our family? I was
Hmm.
like, you are going to look at these vaccinations. I said, because a lot of the stuff that's in it, it's not, it doesn't, it works against our very fragile immune system when we're babies. So why are they, I said, it doesn't make sense that they will put 7 different diseases in a baby at one time.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
And they looked at me like, what do you mean? I said, they're putting diseases in your baby.
Hmm.
I mean, you got to call it what it is.
mhm,
Hmm.
Yeah, and I was like, to immunize them, I was like, let the child get their strength,
Right.
come
Yeah.
Yeah.
into their own immune, let their
Yeah.
body learn how to heal itself.
That's
Hmm.
right.
Just don't have your kid on the subway.
Hmm.
That's when your sisterhood came to help, because when I needed to run to the store and things as a single mom, one of us would be home with the kids because otherwise we were running all up and down would have been running up all and down the streets with all these babies because we were young mothers. And I quickly had created this great circle. So I wasn't stressed about my kids not being immunized because I had my children in a safe, secure location.
Hmm.
And we were together. We did everything together. We moved together. We were like a little gang with our little
Gang,
munchkin gang,
gang.
like really. And I don't see that. So
Yeah.
I just went on a chant, chant. Also, greetings, Jahari. Welcome, welcome, welcome. They are always trying to force us with this poison. We need to be very careful of this, especially now with this invisible virus. Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
um, I'm not I'm not anti-vaccinations. I'm pro-choice,
Right.
and I'm that way because vaccinations work for a large majority of the population, and they test it for that purpose. And
Right.
right now in March, when the pandemic started, the CDC lost a court case where they had to admit that the way they worded it was, kind of like backward speak or double speak. But basically, they couldn't say that it wasn't directed toward young melanated children, and that fact is super pertinent because they're not hurting. So when they're not hurting themselves, they're actually hurting us to a larger degree than they're hurting anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So some people it works perfectly for, and for some it doesn't, and that's
Right.
something that we have to contend with, and we have our cultural standards that will help protect us.
Absolutely.
That
Right.
might
Right.
not be for someone else, and that's okay.
Right. Rock Hall said vaccination shots is how they kept Africans sick. In fact, six white South African doctors 10 years ago got life sentences behind injecting our people. Mr. Farrakhan went worldwide and said, don't take it.
No.
Wow.
Life. They got life sentences. Okay.
Wow. Wow. So their experience, what is the book, Medical Apartheid?
Medical
Yes.
apartheid.
Apartheid.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
definitely anyone who hasn't read that book should, I highly recommend getting that book.
Absolutely.
I'm getting the book from my library because I gave away so many books, and then I'm like, why did I give that book away? What,
Mhm.
but that's one of those books I think you should have in your library. You see, I'm big with the
Mhm.
books.
I have to get
Um,
that
I'm
one.
about
I
to
do
come over
have
there and read them.
that.
yeah, actually, I had brought out two books that I wanted to share because look, I truly believe that reading opens up a world of a whole nother world for us, whether it's informational or what have you. So I always like to recommend books. So this is a book, and I mentioned it, I shared it so many different times with so many different people, but I'm gonna share it again. Um, this book right here,
The
Ah.
miseducation.
The Miseducation of the Negro by Carter G. Woodson.
Ah.
It hits so many different areas. It's so important. I'm rereading it again. I tend to do that. I'll read a book and be like, oh yeah, and it just it hit so much on how keeping us divided will keep us down, where we would never succeed, and to the point where we will self-sabotage each other. And it's so much of the stuff that was in this book that was written in 1935 is still being it's still in play right now. So it's
Yeah.
really like it's really hard to stomach, but it is. And then another book I'm rereading because when I did this I was like, oh, let me kind of freshen up. This is a leisure book, okay? And it kind of hits on the metaphysical and sisterhood and generational mothers and what have you. It is Alice Walker, The Temple of My
Mm.
Familiar.
Mhm.
Th-
I read that in college, but
This is one of my favorites.
it's one of your okay.
One of my favorites. I can't even tell you how many times I've read this book. Sometimes I like read it twice in a year. But it's all about sisterhood, like mother daughter. It's just and it transcends generations and cultures, and so it comes from all different multicultural meanings of what sisterhood is. This
Mm.
is definitely a great book because a lot of us don't even understand it. you know, and so this will take you more in like the fictional world to kind of see and get a grasp of it. I love it. So I wanted to share those two books with you guys just for, my readers.
Yeah.
So I think that's it. So I'm just going to read a couple more questions, and then I'm going to end this live. So Roots Reggae Girl says they did that in Kenya also and made a whole generation sterile.
Yeah.
Oh, now wait a minute. Let's talk
All
some.
right.
Mhm.
So I want to just say thank you guys. I appreciate love you all coming on here, spending this time with me, sharing so much knowledgeable information, stuff that I know anyone who comes in contact with this video is going to really appreciate. And I hope we will do this again, and you all will grace my platform with your all your intellectual property to share with us, because I learned a lot tonight.
Yes,
And
it was. Yeah,
hi,
the children.
assalamualaikum.
Assalamualaikum.
All right,
And they were a little aside. Oh, he
love
lost
you
his
all.
teeth.
Oh, hi, Asad. Okay, family, I
All right, well,
appreciate
thank
you
you.
all.
Nice to meet you in person, Shamor.
You
Nice
too, Laura.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
So we're gonna do more of this. Look, we're gonna plan a trip
Yes.
down to the Carolinas and get some of them good
Yes.
services.
ASAP. ASAP.
Yeah,
I need my
absolutely.
my part
Absolutely.
two with Shamor.
Yeah, we're gonna get some of them good services. So, you all have a great one. I appreciate you all. I love you guys so
Love
much.
you too.
All right, and
Peace and blessings, everyone.
peace and
Peace
blessings.
and
Yes.
blessings
Peace
to all
and
the people.
blessings. So nice seeing you.